Hello, welcome. This is going to be your introduction to Pilates Basics. I'm using this lovely book, Science of Pilates by Tracy Ward, um, as a guide. And so basically, this is kind of a video version of what she gives in this book for building your Pilates foundations. This video is going to be a lot of talking, less doing. So don't expect it to be like your workout. If you want to work out, get it done, go do a different video. But this is really important and you should come back to it. So we will be on the mat some so you can feel it. We will be on the mat the whole time, but just a fair warning, I'm talking a lot, but it's very important, okay? I'll post another video without all of the explanation so that you can just do the basics as your foundation, kind of as your warm up to video, so you can go find that video as well. So, foundations of Pilates, super duper important. I'm gonna have to take my clip out. Okay, don't break your hair clip by laying on it. That would be sad. Lay your hair down. Okay, so alignment, first of all, I see this all the time as a Pilates instructor. People are like not looking, they're looking over there. So neutral alignment, very important. Nose is up, and then we think of your plumb line from your nose to your sternum to your belly button to your pubic bone. That's all one straight line. Shoulders in line with hips, in line with knees, in line with your feet, everything pointed forward. Okay, so breath is super important in your Pilates practice and for any workout that you're doing. Without proper breathing, you can't properly engage your abdominal muscles. Okay, so let's start with some Pilates breaths. Take your hands to your rib cage. So this is different than yoga breathing. For Pilates, we like to think about expanding the rib cage to the side. So take an inhale through the nose. Ribs expand into your hands and then exhale through your mouth. Knit the rib cage together. Again, expand. And knit the rib cage together. Good. So you're able to keep your abdomen engaged while still breathing. So that's why we think of expanding the ribs to the side a little bit, breathing through your back body without fully opening them when you're staying engaged. Okay? So for engaging your core, you never want to be disengaged in Pilates. So engaged through every movement. Let's start by thinking of contracting your core about 30%. So it's not a full clench, okay, just like a 30% engagement where you're pulling your abs, your core, your abdomen, whatever you want to call it, inward without forcing it too much in, without clenching, and then without pooching out. So that's like, I can kind of make my stomach hard, but kind of looks like I'm pregnant when I do that. Okay, you want to think of inward pull and then just practice holding that small engagement and then breathing. Let's take 3 breaths. So engage and then breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. You're still engaged in through your nose, out through your mouth. One more breath in, little expansion of the back body, and blow out. Okay, so now that we have that, let's find our neutral pelvis. You'll hear this all the time. You're never advanced enough to stop doing pelvic rocks, okay? So we're going to blow out, exhale for both movements. Anterior tilt is a tilt forward where I'm going to put my arms out so you can see. You create space underneath your low back. That's tilting your pelvis forward, okay? And then a posterior tilt is when you imprint the spine into the mat. So you tuck your tailbone under, your pelvic rocks under and back. There's no space underneath your low back. Your whole back is touching the mat. Now, the most common thing I see with this when I try to have clients do a posterior tilt is they just do like a little hip bridge and they pick up their tailbone. That's not what we're trying to do here. So I say whole body stays on the mat. Tuck your tailbone under. It's a small engagement of your core, a little bit of your back, and it's a pelvic tilt under so that you're learning how to control and stabilize your pelvis. Okay, so all together, take an inhale, you're in neutral. That's just your natural curvature of your spine. On your exhale, rock it forward so that you have a small space under your low back. You're exhaling here to keep your ribs closed. Inhale as you come back to neutral. Exhale to rock it under. I have my hands out so you can see. You can also bring your hands onto your hip bones to feel your pelvis rocking. Inhale, come to neutral. Exhale, rock it forward, small space under your low back, like a little mouse house. Inhale to neutral. Exhale, imprinted spine, rock it under. Okay, a little explanation here. We honor the natural curvature of the spine by doing exercises in neutral. However, it's a stronger position, more safe for the back to be an imprint. So as you're starting Pilates, you may want to think of the imprinted spine for some ab core work that we're doing. It's a good place to come back to if you're feeling any vulnerability in the low back. However, you want to eventually get to a place where you're doing exercises in neutral, okay? And then it's good to warm up always with those pelvic tilts. So just finding your spine, warming up the neutral. Okay, we did that. What's next? We're going to do arm circles. I'm going to scoot down away from my couch. So people who are not tight in the shoulders sometimes are like, why are we doing this? Well, it's still important. I'm tight in my shoulders, so I usually feel some nerve sensations. But what we're going to do is come to your neutral position and then bring your arms overhead, and your elbows will not bend the whole time. Relax your shoulder blades into the floor. So maybe make sure they are by pressing your arms up towards the ceiling. Then sink your shoulders in towards your mat into their sockets. And then the goal here is to keep your rib cage closed as you bring your arms overhead. So we'll prepare with an inhale, inhale. Exhale, arms come up overhead. The palms naturally flip as you circle around and come back to your hips. Okay, so they inhale up. Exhale as they come over the head to keep the rib cage closed. Palms flip as they come down. So your arms are not touching the floor here. They're just coming close to it. And we're going for about 6 to 8 reps in each direction. So I'm particularly tight right now and kind of closed off in the chest area, so I feel it. You may not, but just practice doing the motion with your shoulder blades staying in their sockets and your ribs staying closed and your core is at that 30% engagement. Let's reverse the direction. So we go along the side, palms face each other, come up, inhale, and exhale. Inhale. As you keep on doing these, you'll become more and more aware of everything. Am I in neutral? Are my ribs closed? Am I not clenching? Am I still breathing, able to breathe through the back body and rib cage? Good. One more. And we come down. It feels nice. Okay. Next, we're going to do a hip twist. So arms come out to a T. This is a little bit of a stretch, but also engaging the obliques, waking up the spine. Bring your feet and legs all the way together. You're in neutral. Inhale in neutral. As you exhale, your knees drop over to the right side, gaze turns over to the left. Inhale. On your exhale, bring everything back to center so you're waking up the core. Inhale, drop your knees to the left, look right. Little bit of a stretch, exhale. Use the strength of your core to come center. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So this sequence is a great way to warm up before doing a Pilates practice or other workout. Inhale. Exhale. One more each side. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Exhale. Okay, checking my notes. What's next? We're coming to single leg stretch. So arms can come down by your side, palms planted. Bring your legs back to that neutral position, so a little bit of distance between your feet. Single leg stretch, engage your core. Inhale. Exhale, really engage your core. Now the right leg slides along the mat, and then you bring it back up. Exhale as your left leg slides along the mat. Get a full stretch of that quad, and then bring it back up. So you're not shoving your foot into the floor. You're not trying to dent the floor, but there is support of the floor. So this is the very basic beginner single leg stretch. Now the goal here, becoming very aware of our muscles and what ones we're using, finding our stability, our small stabilizers. So the goal is to not use that hip flexor, the front of your hip, to bring your leg back up, but to find the low abs. Okay, those muscles are hard to find. I haven't been able to really find them, engage them until just this year once I finished my Pilates certification. It just takes time and perseverance and practice. Okay, so you might get a little bit of hip flexor engagement. That's okay. Just keep on trying to stay in that neutral spine so there's a small space under your back, and then really using your breath. Think low abs, low abs, low abs. You're using a bit of your back as well. Good. Let's just do one more each side. I know this is like painfully slow, but this is so important, the foundations. Okay. So next we just have two more. We're learning a basic bridge. So this is where you have to know your body. If you have any spinal conditions like osteoporosis, a bulging disc, all of the names are leaving my head at the moment, but any spinal cord issues, you probably want to stay with a hinge bridge, which is just going straight up like your back is a piece of wood, and then you go straight down. Okay, so there's no spinal articulation. You go straight up and straight down. However, if you have a healthy spine or you're wanting to have a more healthy spine, it's really important to learn how to articulate your vertebra. Okay, so this is not just about the glutes and hamstrings. Yes, you are using that a lot. This is more about learning the movement of articulating your vertebra one at a time. And a flexible spine is a healthy spine. Okay, so it's really hard to find that one at a time at first, but keep on going and you will get there. And then we use it throughout our Pilates exercises. I'll say use that C curve. You're going to articulate, you're not going to hinge. Okay, so the difference: hinge is straight up, straight down. Articulation, you start with that imprint. So inhale to prepare. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under. Imprint the spine. You pick up the tailbone, low back, mid back, so you're articulating one at a time till you get to the bottom edge of the shoulder blades. Pause here for an inhale. Exhale, you reverse that. So rib cage lowers first, mid back, low back, all the way to the tailbone, and then you can release at the bottom. Inhale, but don't flare your rib cage. Okay, so you're strong in the feet as well. Spread those toes. So keep going while I say more things to teach you about bridging. Okay, so this is not, it is a bit of flexion in the back, but it's not a full stretch. Whereas if you look here, I can arch my back. This is not that kind of bridge. Okay, this is staying in the muscle. So flexibility in the vertebra, but not so much just stretching the spine. Okay, so inhale at the top and then articulate down one at a time. You don't want to come past the point in your bridge where your voice is compromised. Okay, so if I go up too far, my voice starts to sound a little weird, my voice box. Okay, but if I stay in the muscle and right here, I can still speak normally. So that's a little test you can do. If you're starting to feel any pain in your back or low back, that probably means you went a little too high. So just make your range smaller. This is also about ab control because you can't disconnect your abs from your back. So when you get to the top here, think of pull the abs under, 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 under. This is where you find your C curve that you'll hear me mention in other exercises. Last thing, visualization. So you can think of your vertebra as a string of pearls. You're picking up one pearl at a time, and then you reverse it, set down one pearl at a time. You can also think of your spine as like a piece of Velcro that you're peeling back. You're peeling it up, and then you lay it back down right on top of the other piece of Velcro, just like it was before, and it's got that nice fluid movement. Okay, so that was a lot of talking. We have one more exercise. Okay, so chest lift. This is the last basic move to help you get on your Pilates journey. So chest lift, also known as a crunch. uh, Chest lift, I think some people say chest curl or abdominal curl. I like chest lift a little better because curl, I kind of think people put their head in too much. And you don't want to break the neck there. Okay, so we can do this a few ways. Let's put the hands behind the head. And then your elbows, bring them up a little off the floor so they're not fully open. You're in your neutral spine. Inhale on the mat. And then tuck your chin into your chest to start just a little bit. And then exhale, come up so that you're at the tip of your shoulder blade. And then inhale at the top. Exhale as you lower. So the reason we do that is because people often go exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and they arch their back every time and open the rib cage. They flare the ribs open. So we're avoiding that by going inhale, tuck the chin into the chest or slight nod of the chin into the chest. Pick up the head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale at the top. Exhale as you lower. You keep everything engaged. Inhale. nod the chin into the chest, pick up head, neck, and shoulders, inhale at the top, and lower down. So you are, keep going, keeping that neutral position. If you do imprint here, the spine a little, that um, is okay. You're not going to hurt yourself, but the goal is to start to understand how you can keep that neutral lower back even when you're doing a rounded upper back. Another note, okay, moving to the head neck area, we do the slight nod because if I just come up and my head is back here, oh my goodness, that is hard. My head weighs a lot. That's going to be hard on your neck and not sustainable. Alternatively, if you pull on your neck too much, the mic is probably really loud now, like this. uh, that is also not good for the back of your neck, and you're not really working your abs. You're just pulling your head up, okay? So we want that small nod into the chest, lift, hold. And even with this much, I am shaking when I get to the top and I hold, and then you lower back down. Okay, so that's your posture for your chest lift, and you want that same position even if we were to have our fingers forward. Here's the other way you can think of reaching towards your toes, head into the chest, lift, reach. Okay, so that's going to be your posture once you get to more exercises like the hundreds and all of these other things where you add in your legs. Okay, so this was a lot of talking, not so much an exercise video, but I hope you enjoyed learning about the basics and the foundations, and it can be helpful for you as you go and do some more Pilates videos. Good job. Bye.